me ask you, right? So you've worked transactions with and without agents. I'm sure you probably had a friend of a friend.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go buy this house, and you had this happen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you've been doing this long enough. How has that experience been with and without agents?
It isn't. It's a nightmare. I mean, on our side, we end up having to do the work.
Now you got to be the agent,
right? We end up, and they ask us for advice, and then we got to say, hey, I can't give you legal advice, but
I can't tell you the value. I can't tell you how to negotiate.
Right? Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's. I mean,
people tell
it's a bad idea because if everything goes perfect, yes, it can go okay, but the minute something goes wrong, it's a disaster, and they will have kicked themselves for not having an agent. I mean, I'm telling you.
Well, the problem is for an investment that big and for something, for a product that's so sentimental to people, right? Like, there's so much emotion involved that you can't just put it to a purely technology and logical path, right? Like, there has to be people that can come in and see both sides and use the language to kind of guide
everybody
people.
Thinks an agent doesn't do anything, right? They all just think y'all go around, hang on, here's what you do. They come to you and say, hey, let's show you a house. You go show them a house, and then you go write an offer, and then you get paid.
You just go to happy hours.
You go to happy hours. Yeah, you go to happy hours too. That's important. But that's not even close to what it is. I mean, that's what people have no idea the amount of insanity you guys deal with.
And I've had a number of them get handed to me like that. Yeah. Like, hey, they don't know how to kind of move it forward.
Right.
And I tell them, I said, since you already have all the people in place, I'll give you a great deal, but I'm going to keep you guys separated. Right. The number one thing I believe agents do for the general public and just people in general is they keep them separated. And it's really hard to really explain the real value there. But even in my off-market deals or my on-market deals or anytime, it's that transition between an agent and agent, right? So if I shared everything that the other agent's sharing, my buyer would take off, or my lister or my seller would take off. Even just when the agent, imagine the principals talking to each other.
Oh, it's
they don't
emotional.
talk the right language, right?
It's emotional, y'all. I mean, it's the most emotional transaction you will ever buy, right? And so you got sellers that are emotional, they're attached to their house, they think it's worth more, everything's not as bad. I mean, and you're having to deal with that. And then you got buyers that are, this is the house of my dreams, I want to get this house, and the seller's not being reasonable, and people just get emotional and they make bad decisions, right? And so your job is to filter all that and be, a professional, right? And
I'll tell you two quick things. I've always got lots of these things, but because I see this all the time. The Corbett quips. Whenever I talk with, one of the things is like, if I were to do anything, I mean, it could be buy a car, whatever it is. If they're not buying houses every month, why in the world would they want to jump in and try to handle that transaction exclusively on their own, right? There's so many things that are not going to understand or know, and they think that a contract's going to simplify everything. Right. It makes everything more complicated because they don't do this every day. And it's the same thing like for sale by owner. I always get that too. Well, I'll just go buy directly from the FSBO, right? The for sale by owner. The ironic part is the price that they have listed, it never sells for that price. And the average days on market for a FSBO before they finally make a transfer over to an agent is like 2 years. It's something unbelievably ridiculous. And it's one, because they don't follow up with any of the lead opportunities and they don't know how. They don't know what to look for. And the other thing is they're unrealistic with their price. And the problem is they're pricing it according to the MLS, which includes commission. Right. So it's already built in. So if I'm a savvy buyer on a FSBO, for sale by owner, and I call that owner, I'm going to say, okay, well, first we're going to start with 6% knocked right off. Then we're going to have a conversation. Right? If you're going to list it off market and I'm going to buy off market, then we're going to start with a price without the agent commission. And most of the time it works that way. Now they're getting it for the exact same net price to the seller. He's not making any money and he gets to do all the work. It's the ironic part about all of it. Like, why would you want to go through that? You don't even do this for a living.
Well, because they sold one in the 80s.
Yeah. I had a lady